Hello. In this tutorial, this is a second GIMP tutorial. I'm going to show how to change the colors on a photograph using GIMP to create bright colors, muted colors, and black and white. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see GIMP. Okay, so I've got GIMP open right here, and I've already pulled up the photo that I want to use. Plus, this is what we're going to be looking at today. So in the GIMP tutorial, I'm going to show how to take this photograph and turn it into these three things. So this one is one with brighter colors, one with more muted colors, and one that's black and white, so that you can create the color effect that you would like to have. As a reminder, how to open the photos, you go to File and Open computer in order for you to open it. If it's not on your computer yet, make sure that you put the photo on your computer first, and then you can go to GIMP and click File, Open. So I chose this photo because it has a bunch of different colors going on, and it's easier for me to show you how to change the colors, and you can see how it's affecting different colors on here. The first thing I'm going to show is how to make the colors brighter. I go to Colors, and then I'm going to use the Hue Saturation. The saturation, if a color is more saturated, that will make it much brighter looking to our eyes. So if I have it here, if I just click on Colors, Hue Saturation, I get this pop-up, and I can change this to be much more saturated in colors. It's going to take all of the colors that I have and make them more saturated or brighter looking to our eyes. If I click on this screen here, split preview, you can also see what the photo looks like before and what it will look like after if I apply this or if I click OK. Now, if I want certain colors to be brighter, I can also click up here on one of those colors. For example, I want the red colors here to show up more. The blue is pretty bright, the green is pretty bright here. But if I want that red to show up more, I can click on the red and add more saturation in the red. That M is for magenta. Sometimes it's the red color. Okay, if I want more saturation in the yellow, I can add that as well. So the higher the number here, the more saturated it will be for the color. I'm going to show the split preview again so you can see before and after. This is what it will look like when I click OK. And then this is what it did look like before I changed it. Okay, so if I like that, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So here it is. That is how to make a picture have really bright colors in it. If I don't want that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go for a different effect. I didn't want that. I can go Edit, Undo, and it will revert to what I had before. Now, the second thing I'm going to show is how to make the colors more muted. I'm going to use the same tool again. colors, hue, saturation. So it's colors, hue, saturation. And this time I'm going to drag it the other way. I'm going to desaturate things, make them less saturated. Maybe not quite that far. So I notice that when I do this, and you might notice this on your photo too, you're like, oh, I'm desaturating some colors, but other ones are still kind of brighter. Like in this example, the sky still looks fairly blue, but the green areas and the pink areas look like they're kind of grayed out. And I'm like, well, I don't want it to be that desaturated here, but that's too bright for what I want. So I can click on the blue colors, cyan and blue, see how the sky looks more cyan. So that's going to affect it more if I click on cyan. And I can take down the saturation just in the blue and cyan area to make it kind of match up better with the other colors. Here's a split preview again, so you can see the difference. This is what it was. And then this is what I'm changing it to. Okay, I click OK, and it applies that. And then you might be thinking, oh, well, the shapes of things aren't really showing up too well. Sometimes if a lot of your photo has to do with the color, once you desaturate it, you might not see the forms and the shapes quite as well. So another tip I can give you for this is if you add some contrast in here. So I go to colors, brightness, contrast. Okay, and then I'm going to move it up on the contrast, maybe not quite that much. Okay, here's split preview again, so you can see before and after. Notice how it makes the dark areas darker because I'm adding more contrast. It will lighten the light areas and darken the dark areas if you add contrast. So if I go more, it's going to do it even more. Bump it down again. Okay, so there we go. I add a bit more contrast to it and make it pop out so that when I have the muted colors, it's still working. I'm going to undo that again and show you the third one, which is turning it into a black and white photo. I was looking at a couple of options, and the one I liked for this is colors, desaturate, desaturate. So colors, desaturate, desaturate. And it's showing me how it's going to look in black and white. I can look at it split preview again if I want to. There's a couple of different modes on here that you can play around with if you want to see if there's something that you like better. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And then once again, because I don't have the color information left, it might look like everything is kind of blending together and I want certain things to stand out more, so I can change the contrast. So I go back to colors, brightness, contrast. That was colors, brightness, contrast. And I'm going to add some more contrast back into it. That way it looks like these bushes are in front of those ones more because you have the lights showing up better against the darker areas. Okay, once again, split preview. Ah, it looks like that sky is rather light. I kind of don't want it quite that light in the sky. I want to leave a little bit of gray there. So there, I bumped it down. Okay, so that was 3 different things that you can do with color: brighter color, muted color, and black and white.